He's a great content creator who does the Tales of Guardim, which is quickly becoming one of the series that I religiously watch. Check it out on TikTok. The creator is his name is Batsu, and his hey Sinister, welcome to the channel. How's everything? So he hopefully we could try and get the technical issues going here. But he's the storyline is amazing. It came about. Hey Haley, thank you for coming. The storyline is amazing. It came about from one of the Night Skins, from the Night Skins, I guess controversy that happened on TikTok a while back in the summertime. Hello, Book. Yay, everybody's here. The gang's here. I'm excited. We are working on it. Like as per usual, it wouldn't be my stream if there weren't tech goblins. Hopefully we get it fixed here while I'm chatting with you guys. We'll see. Yeah. But check it out. So definitely check out TikTok. I know a lot of people don't want to download TikTok specifically because it's so addicting. But yeah, I know it's not stuttering today. So I figured out that if I don't have a million and one things open, it won't be a problem. I think that may have been my main issue with this whole thing stuttering. Um, oh shoot, I can stay up. So that's been the main issue with that whole thing. So I can't have um, OBS open, Microsoft Word, uh, Microsoft Excel, Firefox, WooBot, Nightbot. I can't ever have everything open. I think that's the main issue. But so I am still trying to see what's going on here. Hopefully we get started soon. I'm very excited about this. I haven't done an interview in a while, so what is going on here? Okay, hold on one second. I think we may have a oops. Hold on one second. Def not still in bed and have to sort out coffee and breakfast. Sure, definitely not in bed at that time of morning. Okay. It is technically morning for him, for you rather, but it is 6:49 in the evening. Which what time is it there? Let me get to that point first. What time is it in New Zealand, where you are right now, at this moment that you're now getting out of bed? Must be. Thank you, Sinister. Thank you, thank you. I bet you it's like 10 or 11 o'clock. I could probably look it up, but I want you to tell me. Slacker. It's 10 to 12 exactly. So brunch, not morning, and you should have been up by now. Just saying. That's just me. No judgments. No judgments. Okay. So I know, right? Like, ugh. Did you even like feed Charlie and get up and like give Charlie something to eat, or like what's the deal? Y'all just jealous. Jealous, really. The poor dog is probably starving right now. Probably like holding, hey Al, yay Al! Probably holding his bladder, hoping and praying that you get out of bed. Just saying, I fed her at 7 a.m. Thank you very much. Well, I don't know this. All I know is that you said that it's 10 minutes to 12 and you're now getting out of bed. Therefore, the assumption would be that poor Charlie is struggling. It's all about Charlie, by the way. Oh, yeah. How's the maternity leave so far, Sinister? How's everything? How's it going? Oh, all you know is because I'm still in bed and I've starved my dog. It's a mild assumption, however, that you have since cleared up, and we are now well aware that you fed Charlie at 7 o'clock. So technically, it's lunchtime for Charlie. So, so yeah, I'm sorry. I was looking down on my phone and a bunch of other things. So I was saying, so the creator of Tales of Guardim, like it is one of the series that is very inspiring. One of the things I kind of like want to like keep looking at and keep on top of and everything else. It's a lot of fun to watch. And he does every single voice, every single all the editing, all the production, everything is him. It's pretty good. I just went and bought a bunch of compression thingies because I got, oh no, carpal tunnel syndrome does suck. Oh my god. I'm so sorry. That sucks. Yeah, unfortunately, yeah. So I take it you don't type for a living. Because if you type for a living, you know that. But carpal tunnel in any part of your body kind of hurts. Chop them off. Thanks. Book's remedy. Chop it off. So, but as I was saying, what was I saying? See, you guys let my ADHD being like um engaged. Don't you the job is not to let my ADHD brain engage. Nope, shut up, you. Sounds good, book. So here's the deal. Have your ankles all good, hopefully. What? All good, hopefully it doesn't hang about too long after baby arrives. All right. You're getting puffy. Oh no. Oh. I don't know what the remedy for that is. Water, I guess. I'm hoping water might help. I guess. I don't know. I'm just guessing. So it is super cold here. Hot enough to go for. It is super cold here and uncomfortable. Well, no, let me rephrase that. It's not super cold here. It's like 40 something degrees. That part sucks so bad. But yeah, staying hydrated and keeping your feet elevated helps, but don't sit too long. See, this is a weird catch 22, I guess, when you're pregnant. Is that you want to rest, but you can't sit too long. You want to put your feet up, but you need to walk around. Like everything is a contradiction. It's very odd and weird and annoying, and all of that stuff. Yeah, we just went for a Pokemon walk to try and get the blood moving. Oh, well, if you don't mind me asking, you don't have to answer if you don't want to. When are you due? It is hard to get it right. Up, hang on, everybody. I will be right back. Hang in there. We'll be right back. And look at that. I knew it. See, now we're live, everyone. But if you could just see the top of Batsu's head.
Oh, what's
So
going on
we're
there?
gonna fix this. See, I knew it. I knew it. I knew
Can
it.
you can you guys see me? Hey,
It
I'm
would not be
trying.
my stream if
Wait.
this didn't happen. Okay. Wait. Oh. Oh. Wait. Wait.
I'm coming.
Wait.
I'm
Wait.
coming.
Uh, uh, okay. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Okay. Let's try it this
Oh, okay, you got
way.
half my face. You got half my face. You got
Half.
it.
Half.
There you go.
Okay. Okay. Wait. 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 Okay. Come back this way. See, everyone knows. Like, if it's my stream, weird things happen. So when I interviewed the Ebony Warrior, Xavier
Mhm.
Conley, we our issue was that uh there you go.
I feel like I'm in Home Improvement, and I'm the neighbor.
Okay, so now I have no idea how do I okay, let's reduce the screen a little bit. With his, with his screen, we had to like make it super tiny. It was great. So that was a throwback from his. So let's see if we can't make this scene a little bit better. Uh this is awesome. This is great. Everyone, welcome Batsu to the channel. This is the creator I was telling you about with from Tales of Guardim. He
Hey
is
guys.
amazing creator. He has quickly become one of the people that I follow regularly, specifically for that story.
Oh,
It has become one of my soap operas. I mean, it is one of those things. I was like, I gotta watch this. I have to see what the next episode is. It's
The next episode is going to be coming in the next like probably 3 or 4 days
3 or
because we
4
got something
days.
happening. Yeah, because we got something going on in the live. It's kind of getting out of control in a good way, but we'll talk about that in a little bit.
Also, yes, we will definitely talk about it. And okay, so looks like we may. I think we might have. I think we might have a breakthrough here.
There we go. There's my
There we
chin.
are.
I missed you so much.
Yay! This is awesome. We have a breakthrough. I swear, one day I'm gonna go live with no issues. If that's gonna happen, we will see. But you know, but everyone, like once again, I said, welcome to this gentleman here. He has been, like I said, one of the people who I watch religiously for the episodes. He is essentially a one-man production team for a storyline that came about. It'll never happen, Sam. That came about through the Night Skins controversy. So let's just get right into it.
Okay.
You're one of the founding creators for the Night Skins. How did the idea of Guardim come to you? Like, how did you come up with this whole thing?
So the original, like, as you guys have probably heard the story, but I guess I'll just reiterate it. So how the Night Skins came about, at least for me, was the whole debacle that happened on Twitter, and then Ebony Warrior Studios and Tony Weaver Jr. were the ones who ushered it in on TikTok. And then there's like we like to call ourselves like the four godfathers, right?
Right.
So there's me, Neo Soul God, Helevation, and OG Blurred, aka Papa Eclipse, that kind of just kept the torch going. So when I first started doing it, I did it as a joke. Like I was just like, oh, I am Batsu of the Fists of Punishment. That was like the whole thing.
Right.
And then then it got like 10,000 views, and I was like, oh, people like this.
Yeah.
So let me, and I'm already a nerd when it comes to fantasy. Like I love Lord of the Rings. I love Final Fantasy. Like I'm a JRPG nut. So,
okay, gotcha.
So then I started taking it a little more seriously. And the show was actually originally called Night Skin Stories of the Kuroi Pifu, but I thought that was too wordy. And then there was another controversy with Night Skins, which we're not going to get we're not going to get too far in the weeds with that one.
Yeah. No.
And then I was like, all right, guys, we need to come up with a new name. And the name Guardim actually came from my love of Final Fantasy VII. So if you take the dim at the end of Guardim and you reverse it, you get mid, and then you put that at the beginning, you get Midgar.
Oh wow!
So that's where Guardim came from. Yeah.
Oh my god!
And then when I do stuff like that, I just change a couple letters so it doesn't look like the exact same spelling.
Right. Well,
so yeah, Midgar.
Oh my god. Okay, so my nerdiness is kind of like going like crazy right now. Like, oh, are you serious? That is amazing. That is super cool. That is amazing. Okay, so now I have another more of a reason to continue my soap opera of Tales of Guardim, because like people look, a little bit of backstory. So people think I'm crazy at my job because I literally will be at work with my phone on my desk. I'll be typing away, but oh my god, that happened! Like from your story. I love the story, adore it. Well,
thank you.
What was your family's reaction? Actually, let's go back a little bit. I've been into a couple of your lives, and you said that you at one point were or are a full-time stay-at-home dad.
Oh yeah.
So that in of itself is a super hard job to be a full-time parent. Like, a full-time parent staying at home, specifically if your children are like barely school age or under toddlerhood or in between, can be.
Yeah, he's 5.
Woo! Yeah.
And he thinks he's 50.
Yes.
Children. That's all I have to say. And there's nothing else that needs to be said. Children.
I am lucky in that. My niece and my nephew, even though I help like hang out with them and take care of them and everything else with my sister, I get to send them back home. Anyway, so what was your family's reaction to you deciding to do this as part of your work as full-time?
See, that's an easy question. So my fiance, she is the reason I'm even on TikTok.
Really?
So yeah, she was because like I was like I grew up on like not grew up like I'm 20 or something. I'm 37. I'll be 37. Anyway, I started on YouTube when it came to like social media, right? I'm well more MySpace, but like nothing ever really clicked. Nothing really latched on. But I just kept trying and trying over the years. So quick thing to tell you guys: if you are a content creator, you're gonna fail more times than you succeed. I've been
Oh yeah.
failing for over a decade, but you
Yeah.
just got to keep trying, right? So I was resistant to TikTok. I was like, dude, TikTok isn't that a dance app? Isn't that musically?
It's a children's
Why
app.
why would I want to be? You want to be up here, Coco? Come on, hold on.
Sure.
My little poochie pooch.
Oh,
So, so I
cameo.
was. Oh, see everybody. Here's Nezuko. Hold on. Wait, come on, Nezuko. What are you doing? This is Nezuko, everybody. She's
Hi,
adorable.
puppy.
We
Oh
love
my
Nezuko. She is
puppies.
she is a Chihuahua wiener.
Oh my
She's
God, that's adorable.
so yeah, I was highly resistant to TikTok because I thought it
Mm.
wasn't going to be for me, and I saw her on TikTok, and I was like, this is quite frankly, this is dumb. I don't want any part of this.
This is
Um,
dumb.
s- so then I finally caved and started doing the Tiki Talkies, and I was like, oh, I actually like this app. And so she was the one who kept nudging me to do more of my brand of silliness and my brand of because at first I came on here as a musician because I'm a singer. I've been singing for
Okay.
30 years. And then that wasn't really taken off because there's so many TikTok singers. Like I am,
Yes.
and I'm not the
Ton.
best singer. When you got people like Iniko, like
What?
how do you compete with that? Like
Cannot.
so,
Cannot.
so I started doing. Then after that, I started doing like the more woke content. But
Mhm,
that's
mhm.
just emotionally draining. Like
Yes.
I love talking on black issues, I really do. But one, it gets you flagged on TikTok a lot, and two,
Yes.
like I would walk away just depressed.
Yes.
Did a little bit of comedy, but I kept getting flagged on that too. So then, the fantasy kind of fell in my lap, and she was like, "Go, keep pushing, keep pushing, keep pushing."
Okay.
So, and my son, obviously, he just looks at it. He's like, "Dad tells cool stories. I want to be in them." But son, if you're watching this, you got to start listening if you want
Right.
to be in my stories.
Mhm,
Okay. But
mm.
yeah, so no, my family is highly supportive. My friend network, they're all pushing for it. They're all viewers of the content.
Mhm.
Um, so yeah, I have a pretty strong support network when it comes to this. So there's no complaints. Everybody wants me to do it.
That's awesome. I mean, I'm one of those people. I totally please don't stop because there's so
Oh,
many
I
times
definitely will.
I'm like, there's not another episode. What is happening? Like I need my episode, and I literally just realized, Sam, you just watched it an hour ago. Give the man a chance. Like an hour. It just came out an hour. Um, so traditionally fantasy and content and cosplay, this all this type of stuff for gamers. Um,
Mhm,
thank you for the follow. Has been frowned upon by older black generation in the black community
mhm.
by older generations.
Yeah.
I don't know about for a for the West Indian community, it's been, oh, that's the devil. I
Mhm,
know from family down south, it's, oh, why are you looking into that? That's quote unquote white people stuff. Um,
mhm.
where do you think that comes from? Like, where do you think that mindset comes from?
Colonization. That I
Okay.
mean, that's just the end all be all of that. And like and also just not actually taking the time to check in on your kids' hobbies and
Mm,
seeing what it really is. Like the whole Dungeons and Dragons scare.
yes, I
Um,
remember that.
that was ridiculous. That made no sense to me. And the same thing happened in the early night. Well, I mean, I guess it was no, actually no, it was night. Wasn't it night something for it was that interactive Sega Genesis game or something like that. I can't remember.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Yeah,
I didn't have Sega. I wasn't a Sega kid, unfortunately.
yeah, I was a Nintendo boy.
Yeah, I
But
was a Nintendo.
yeah, so like the Night Terror thing, or and then it was the Mortal Kombat. But the point is, people tend to be outraged about stuff they don't understand,
Right.
and I feel like, and especially in the black community tends to be highly superstitious.
Mhm.
Um, and then you mix a little bit of colonization in that, and then you get like, oh, this is bad, and especially when it comes to, excuse me, black people in fantasy, because they think it's white people stuff.
Right.
Like we didn't have our own mythologies in Africa. Like we didn't have our own fairy tales in Africa. Those things existed,
Right.
but I think a mix of of westernized quote unquote Christianity, because Christianity is from Africa. We're not gonna get too far into that. But the point of westernized Christianity, superstition and colonization, all that mixed together means black people shouldn't be in fantasy. But I mean, I don't know. I just to me that's never made any sense.
Mhm.
I'm a nerd. There's nothing that's ever going to change that. And I was raised in a family of nerds.
Oh, wow.
So I got kind of lucky with that. Like I came up on like I watched Star Trek as a kid, like heavily. The Hobbit was not the Hobbit. What was it? Willow. Willow was
Well,
one of my favorite
oh,
movies.
wow.
As a kid, I started watching anime at 8 years old. So I got really lucky that my mom wasn't like, even though we're not really talking right now, she wasn't like, yeah, you stop watching the Willow movie. She was like, I don't give a crap. She she she
Right.
she, she put the brakes on Beavis and Butthead, but Willow was fine. Willow was
Yeah,
fine.
business above my head was a problem in my house, but like I had my dad was a secret nerd. He would never admit to it. It was that is not a thing. I don't watch, but what's when time is Star Trek coming on? Are we? Or you want to go to the movies? Like, what are we gonna Star Wars? Okay, we'll tell him about it. Like, stuff like that. So, I
Yeah.
I get it. How what common myth about role playing, fantasy, people of color, specifically for Black people, that you've heard that you're trying to combat with your platform?
That we can't be the main character.
Right.
That is the biggest thing. That's why I do what I do.
Mhm.
I mean, I'm thankful for things like even though I'm not really big into them right now because I've been so focused on what I'm doing, but like House of Dragons, the Rings of Power, stuff like that is really awesome to see Black people in it. But I'm still waiting for the day where we are front and center, where minorities and BIPOC, people of color are the center characters and the titular characters versus the supporting characters, or
Mhm.
the magical Black,
Right.
wise sage. Like we're freaking Bagger Vance in here. Like I want I want us to be
Right.
the main character. So that's the myth I'm trying to break, or in the fact that that Black people don't enjoy fantasy.
Right.
Like there's still a misconception that we don't enjoy fantasy, which blows my mind when stuff like, even though it's futuristic, cyberpunk itself was written by a Black man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like
One of my
we
favorite
love
things too.
fantasy.
Yeah,
Yeah, we
cyberpunk.
love fantasy, but we just don't get the respect that we love. Kind of like how with the whole Night Skins thing started, people were getting upset because there's Black voice actors in anime. Why would that upset you? I don't
Right.
understand that. If there's Black characters in the anime, here's a abstract thought, guys. Let Black voice actors voice them. Okay, that's
Exactly. Super easy. And it's what's really weird is that uh especially with voice acting, is that a lot of the characters that people love don't
Mhm.
realize they're Black actors, you know.
Samurai Jack.
Exactly. Or uh uh Summer Cree, like,
Mhm. Phil
people like,
Lamar,
yeah,
he's the goat.
yeah,
Cree Summers, it's the goat. Like those
yeah.
two are amazing.
And so people are like, "What? They're what?" And it's one of those things that just blows my mind, you know. So,
Mhm.
um, with Black centric movies that have been coming up, like the Lord of the Rings,
Mhm.
Game of Thrones, uh, Black Panther, uh, do you think these platforms will reverse course? Like, do you think like TikTok, I won't even say Facebook, Twitter's gonna die soon. But do you think certain
So
platforms
is
like,
Facebook, but that's a whole other conversation.
yeah,
Facebook is not
Facebook
doing well.
is not doing well? Well, I think
Mhm.
Twitter has taken over that part with its
Mhm.
recent purchase and the dumpster fire that's happening over there. But do you believe that is solely dependent on the consumers of the platform, or you think it will reverse its own course with the the surgence of these type of movies happening?
I do think I don't think it's going to come down to the platform. I think it's going to come down. Well, I mean, the platform will inevitably change, but it's really going to come down to the consumer. But I think thankfully we're in a space where the consumer's mind is changing. So I'm not really worried about the platform's mind is changing because you got to look at like TikTok. TikTok doesn't exactly treat its melanated creators the best.
Yeah.
They just don't. Let's just be perfectly honest with that. But I feel like the consumers of TikTok have started to have a shift in focus, a shift in mentality, and leaning more towards BIPOC creators. Like for instance, my fiance is a non-practicing white, as I like to call her. So
That is awesome.
but she always makes sure to, like, for instance, when we go out to eat, we try like for instance, I know it's gonna sound silly. We went to Red Robin. You're like, okay, so what is that about? What's that about? We went to Red Robin where there is a majority black staff.
Mhm.
We try to tip and shop at more black owned spaces. This hat that I'm wearing right now, we actually bought on TikTok from a black seller who it's silk line. So even though I got a
Wow.
receding hairline, I mean, we got our son a silk bonnet.
Well, I
Um,
need a link for that, please.
Oh yeah, I got you. I got you. And she finds these links more than I do. She's like, "Oh baby, here's a recipe." Boom, and I'm like, "Oh, soul food. I'll go cook that later." So like we I feel like the and of course there's outliers and they tend to be the loudest. But you got to understand the majority of the consumers that are on TikTok are shifting the mindset of what they see as a content creator. The same thing happens in my space because they just like the people are like, oh, this is cool fantasy, and then they'll like, oh wait, there's a black guy in the front of it, but that's not their first thought. Their first thought is he's writing cool stories,
Right.
and that's why I want to get to a point of, and I think we're gonna get there where black people can be viewed as content creators, but as content creators first. Don't get me wrong. There's no way I'm ever gonna erase my melanin, and I love my blackness, but it would be nice to be viewed as a content creator,
Right.
and then like my content. And I feel like there's more people out there that are like, okay, these people are talented. They need more respect. They need more of a light on them. And like, it's sad to say, I have to say the sentence, but they're like, oh, they're just like us. Yeah, no crap, we're just like you.
Really?
All right, we're human. Please give us a chance. So yeah, I feel like it's not gonna come down to platform, and inevitably it never does.
Right. Right.
Inevitably, it never does. These platforms never evolve until there's either enough backlash or there's enough shift in consumer focus for them because they're going to go where the money is. And it's silly to think that it's taking them so long to do that, considering how powerful the black dollar is. The black dollar is twice as powerful than any other dollar out there,
Right.
period. Because we're loyal, we are brand loyalists. So when we put our money into something,
You stay there.
we're putting our whole foot into it,
Yeah, you
right?
stay there.
So
Mhm.
and if you and we're the type of us also, if you put your money into us, we're extremely loyal to you as a
Mhm.
consumer, as a fan. Like if you go to my lives, I treat them like a family. You
Yep.
guys came to watch my stuff. All right,
Mhm.
what's up, sis? What's up, bro? What's up,
Right.
mom? You're family now.
Yep.
So I feel like it's
Mhm.
really going to come down to the consumer. But the platforms will shift where the money is, and the money's in black dollars. Period. End of story. Point blank.
Well, off of that, then, so a lot of people, and I've noticed that the platform itself will hold back black POC content creator, black content creators, so
Hmm.
that the people who normally will watch, like in the chat book says, will literally watch anyone so long as the content is good. But if
Hmm.
the platform is holding back the content, how do like how does that shift going to happen? People have to go hunting and looking. I happen to know about the night skins things because my algorithm just does that.
Hmm.
But people who don't know about it, who found out through either from my channel or Neo's channel or
Hmm.
Ebony Warrior's channel, how do they make that shift if they don't know it exists? you know
My thing is a lot of content, and this is not a knock to the content creators because it should be as accessible for black and BIPOC content creators um versus our white counterparts, right? For to get seen, to get put into the algorithm, to get put into people's FYPs. But my reason that I keep popping the way that I am, even though I only have 12,000 followers, right? But like a couple weeks ago, I had 7,000, right?
Yeah, we're gonna get to that. I have a question about
Yeah.
that because that happened quick.
So because I was studying, we need to study the algorithm and how TikTok now places content. So they're no longer about quantity. It's not about
Right.
just pumping out videos. And a lot of content creators now are still on that wave, and
Mhm.
that's why they're getting choked out because they don't care about that anymore. They're kind of going on the YouTube route where it's about SEO. It's about using the tools that are inside TikTok to get your videos placed. So
Right.
for instance, like my videos now, I have a hashtag, I have an SEO Google Doc, right?
Mhm.
And it's got all the hashtags for all the stuff I do. So I have blurred talk, I have fantasy talk, D&D, world building, all these things. And don't get me wrong, I don't actually do anything D&D focused, but I do fantasy focused. And the
Right.
thing is, a lot of my new fans are D&D heads, right?
Yes.
So you want to, and when you hashtag your videos like that, it will put you in the lists of where these videos need to pop up. So if someone's searching D&D instructions, they're for some reason going to see one of my goofy videos, right?
Really?
And so you do that. You make sure, even if you close caption your videos, right? Make sure to add captions again. Do it twice.
Oh,
And what ends up happening is if you say fantasy, if you say lore, if you say elves, the TikTok subtitling, the captioning will catch that. And then you say a little blurb in your when you're putting your hashtags in, that will also latch on. So there's multiple levels that you have to do for TikTok to be like, okay, this is where it needs to go. Still, they need to fix it so that everyone has we're on level playing field, because it feels like virtual redlining at this point. But
yeah.
yeah.
I'm at
So, but
1400. I've been at 1400 for 2 years.
yeah, it's silly. But there are ways to do it, and another great way to get seen, and that would help other Black content creators, which is what helps me, is every once in a while deviate from your normal content. Don't stop making your normal content. Like for instance, my next video is coming out. I still have to film it, but it's still coming out. The script is pretty much done. I just got to record some stuff. But in the meantime, I did another thing, which was called DoorDash Storytime. And it brought in a new audience of people who like fantasy, but it's just me reading DoorDash, but in a posh British voice, talking like this while reading this story time. And people are like, "Oh, this is fun and cool, and I like the voice." I'm like, "All right, cool," But it helps to diversify your audience, but at the same time, bring in the right kind of people that you want to bring in.
Right.
But at the end of the day, none of that really matters until, because it's still a struggle for me. For instance, my last couple videos only did I think 2,000 or 3,000. And usually, like when my videos pop, they'll do about 4,000, and then every once in a while I'll hit either 20 or 30, and then I think the last one, I think the last big one I had is at 800,000.
Wow.
So it's still tough because they are throttling me a little bit. I'm in a better shape than a lot of other Black content creators that are trying to come up. I will say that. I know that, and I've recognized that, and I try to use that privilege to elevate people. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the solution is, but I know ways to at least get yourself a little more seen.
A little bit. Gotcha. So with your advice about shifting focus and occasionally going off of what you normally do, what advice would you give people who want to write, produce, act, edit their own production like you've done? Like literally, thank you for the follow. Literally, you have your one-man show.
Yeah.
Like every single character is you, every single voice is you. And that's amazing. But that seems like a massive amount of work.
It is. It's a lot.
And also to keep up on it and to continuously and regularly put out content on TikTok. How? What advice would you give? And how do you do it?
Okay, so if you want to do what I do, the best way to start, and I actually had this conversation last night on live, get CapCut. Right now, that is the easiest way to get into the video editing game, and there's a lot of built-in stuff that is super simple and super easy to use, and it's free. And they have a desktop app. Okay. So get CapCut. So that's the first thing I would say. When it comes to writing, for me, and a quick thing, guys, CapCut on your phone works great. I just need you to know that. And they just added in a teleprompter. There's a teleprompter in this app.
Really?
It's ridiculous. Okay. It is ridiculously powerful. It has all the tools, everything you need to edit videos. Everything you need. You don't need Adobe Premiere Pro. You don't need After Effects if you're just starting. Of course, once you get to my level and you get to my level of production, you're gonna need that kind of stuff. But even then, when I'm doing other videos that don't need to be super crazy high production value, hey, Andalusite, and you don't need that. You need CapCut, and CapCut will do. There's actually a guy named his name is Mox Modius Blackwell. We have this thing going on my TikTok right now, and I had everybody make videos. He made one on his TikTok. It's amazing. When I tell you it's amazing, it's incredible, and he did it with CapCut. And really? I had to stop, and everybody in my Discord was like, "Yo, this is fire! This is legitimate fire! This guy has a future!" And he did it with CapCut. So yeah, now that I'm off the CapCut wave, when it comes to writing, I'm technically still new at writing. Even though I got hired at my last job as a writer, I'm just silly, and I just go, "What would sound cool and just throw everything at it. Somebody's going to like it or somebody won't. I don't really care. I just do it because I enjoy it and I want to see the fantasy out there that I would want to be a part of.
Right.
So don't be scared to write something. Don't be scared to run it by somebody. And if you put it out there and only 4 people view it, my biggest thing I always say is don't view small successes as large failures. That's a
Mm,
super important thing to
wow.
remember. Do not view small successes
Yeah.
as large failures. So you put out a video, right? You spent, and this has happened to me a bunch of times. You can ask one of the people in the chat right now, Andalou site. They've been with me since the beginning. Like they're one of the ride or die fans, right? I put out videos that have gotten 200 or 300 views. Sometimes I put them out and they'll get like 20 views. But guess
Wow.
what? That's 20 people viewing my video.
Right. Right.
You know how many views I would have gotten if I didn't put it out? 0. So
Yeah.
that's a success. Every new dollar I get in my Patreon, every new dollar I get in my Cash App, that's a success. So when you're writing something, write what you're passionate about. Have fun with it. You'll grow. If you go to my TikTok right now, you'll see where I started to where I am now. It's 2 different boxes. Okay, so you got to keep trying. You got to keep molding your craft. Just keep at it. Now, when it comes to the voices, I have been doing voices since I was a kid, and not because like I wanted to be a voice actor, is because I lived in a very weird household. We just walked around doing voices. I was like, "What are you doing here, Boris? I do not like your face. I am Nikolai, come to kill you. Das Vidanya." Like stuff like that. Like, oh, Peter. We just do that kind of stuff.
Right.
Just
Right.
walking around. Like the other day, we were hanging out live, and I was just like, "Yo, imagine like Optimus Prime like introduced a new Transformer, and his name was Daewoo."
I was there.
Yeah,
when that
yeah.
and I
It's
was
like
like, what
he
is
transforms into
happening?
another Daewoo. He's like, "I am Optimus Prime, and I am Daewoo." It's just
Wow,
and just
that
have
is
fun
so
with
accurate. That was so accurate. That was a
And
very
anything
accurate representation there.
And then like when it comes to like the artwork you see in my later episodes,
Mhm.
pro tip, I use an AI image generator. It's called Stable Diffusion.
Really?
You can get it at huggingface.co. It's free for everybody to use. And then once you learn how to use prompts, that's how I use the artwork, and then I come up with the voices afterwards. I'm like, okay, what does this character sound like? Who is he? Who is she? Who are they? And then anything else, like there's tons of royalty-free music on YouTube. There's actually, fun fact, if you go to YouTube and you have an account, you go to YouTube Studio, there's a place where it says music, and then there's a whole section of royalty-free music you can download straight to your computer. So if you ever need musical for your score, awesome, right there. If you're using CapCut, CapCut has a built-in music thing. Since it's made by TikTok, it has a whole built-in music thing and sound
Wow.
effects thing. You can search for music. You could, in fact, the last video I put out for DoorDash Storytime,
Mhm.
I used purely everything in CapCut. All the music you hear, all the sound effects you hear, came straight out of CapCut, except for I think the cat's meow that's in it. That's it. Everything else is CapCut. So the resources are there. 99.9% of them are free. I think the only other thing I would say is get a lav mic if you can.
Right.
Don't try to just speak into your phone. And there's this the lav mic that I use is from a company called Purple Panda. You can find them on Amazon. It's like $20 for a mic.
Wow.
$20. Find the one with the
$20.
little find the one with the USB-C converter in it. You're good to go. Done.
Wow.
And then it just comes down to your creativity.
Well, so now with all of this, do you plan on keeping it as a one-man show, or do you plan on eventually saying, okay, I don't want to edit any more stuff?
Oh, yeah, absolutely not. I'm not gonna do this by
I
myself forever.
I want something more unique for my artwork, or do you plan on hiring?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely, yes. Like, because the whole end game of this is putting on, like I've said this before, and I really mean this. I want to be the Jordan Peele of fantasy, not the Tyler Perry of fantasy. And there's a distinct difference between the two. Both of them, don't get me wrong, both of them have elevated Black people on their platforms. But the difference between Jordan Peele and Tyler Perry is Tyler Perry has to be the center of Tyler Perry's movies, and Tyler Perry has to write Tyler Perry's movies. And if Tyler Perry doesn't Tyler Perry, then Tyler Perry's not Tyler Perry. He don't want Tyler Perry. Okay, but Jordan Peele, exactly. But Jordan Peele, he centers fantastic actors. He has a writer's room. He has he brings in professional Black stylists so that they can have authentic looking wigs. which
Mhm.
is super important.
Huge.
And I can't
Huge.
explain how important that is and in all seriousness, because the poor representation of black hair in media, and then the fact that you have Tyler Perry doing the same thing that we have
Mhm.
been seeing in Hollywood for
For
decades is
decades.
to me appalling. But
Yes.
Jordan Peele is, to me, he's the benchmark. People like Jordan Peele, people like what's his name, from the director of Black Man, Ryan Coogler, like
Like
people
Hoover.
like that. For me, as a black person, is those dudes are my heroes, and they always make sure to elevate black women, black men into space. And if there's any black women directors, I do apologize. It's just off the top of my head. Those are my two. Those are the two
Mhm.
guys I look up to. But I'm a big fan of putting people on.
Right.
Um, so like I want to get to a space where I can hire black actors to fill in these spots. I don't even have to be the star. Okay.
Mhm.
I want to be like dude who wrote what's a what's that vampire movie with what's her name? I can't remember
Which
the
member?
name of it. The one with it has a lot of martial arts in it. The first one was like against werewolves and
Oh God.
you know what I'm talking
I
about.
know what you're talking about now. And then
Has a big
the werewolf who merged with a vampire. He became like a
yeah
vampire
yeah
hunter.
yeah yeah yeah.
Oh, that's gonna bug me.
I can hear it in my it's on the tip of my
Underworld. Thank
tongue.
you, Al.
There you go. Underworld. Yes, 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 yes. So like Underworld was actually written by I can't remember his name, but he's this big buff black dude. You've seen him in the films. The
Yeah.
big black dude is actually the writer of those
Oh
films, but he's
wow.
not the star. He takes and that's one thing I learned at my old job was learning how to let go.
Mhm.
That's super important as a content creator. You got to learn to let your baby grow and
Right.
mature and become this amazing thing, and you have to be okay if you're not the face of it,
Right.
and that's okay to me. So I wouldn't mind if like the show got bigger and I stopped being Yask.
Right.
If I was like Namda or something, or if I was Rob, or if I was a Toothless Man or whoever, I
Right.
can be a side character as long as I know that my words are still reaching people, and young black men and young black women and all the theys and thens in between can watch this show and be like, oh, finally, I see myself
They're
here.
like, oh, that's me.
That's the
Yes.
end goal.
Right.
So yeah, no, definitely I would love to diversify this. I would love to hire other people. I right now, once I get to a point that I can hire another actor, the first person I'm going to hire is a woman, because there's
Okay.
so many woman roles in my show
Mhm.
that need to be filled, and I'm not trying to Eddie Murphy this. I am not trying to
Tyler
um
Perry it, Eddie
yeah,
Murphy
yeah. No,
it.
I'm good. Like I want someone else to fill those roles. So I'm hoping either before, because I will be relocating to Oregon.
Okay.
Um, I'm hoping either before or after, the move. I don't care, that I can find someone to work with. And I know a lot of people are like, oh, I can do it. I offer. I love y'all. If
An
I want this to get to the
actress.
next level, yes, I want an actress. Like I'm an
Right.
actor. I'm a voice actor.
Right.
So I want someone who this is their passion, and I also want to pay them a fair wage. So that's why I'm kind of holding off on it. If someone wants to volunteer and they're an actress and they want to audition, that's fantastic. We can do
Right.
that, and you're okay with that, and we'll pay you later. But until then, yeah, yeah.
Right.
So long story short, yes, I want to hire other people.
Well, you talked about not making yourself the center. When
Yeah.
Night Skins came about, it was Neo Soul,
Hmm.
Tony Weaver, you, and forgive me, I'm missing somebody, Ebony Warrior, and a few
Hmm.
others that I would consider like the founders of this whole movement. Um,
Hmm.
what does it feel like being part of something this big, being the catalyst of something this big?
That's still wild to me, because like people, like anytime something happens in the Night Kings community, they're like, "Yo, what does Batsu think?" I'm like, "What do you mean? What do I think? What are you asking me for?
Like,
I don't know."
like
But
what?
it's crazy, because like for me, like when I think of the Night Skin movie, and I've talked to Xavier about this. I was like, bro, I was like, if this show blows up, you're getting a producer credit. And
Mhm.
I'm in communications with him. I talked to Tony Weaver. We became friends as well. Um, and it's just it's so wild, and it's
Tony
wilder. What's
Weaver, if you're
wilder about it?
listening, I need you on this channel, sir. And
I mean, I holler at him, but the crazy part is like it's weird to me, because like they're not even really super involved with it anymore, and they still
Mhm.
support it. Don't get me wrong. Like Tony has shouted me out. I've had people like Baldhead News, aka Diary of a Holy Night. He made a video about me, so it's like it's weird seeing people like, and then like again, Ebony Warrior Studios. He's still a supporter, he doesn't do Night Skins content anymore,
Right.
because of the big controversy that happened
Mhm.
afterwards.
Right.
But it's weird seeing them not do the content, but knowing that if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't be where we are now.
Right.
Like me, Neo Soul God, Papa Eclipse, Helevation, um, and especially like for me in this Neo Soul God, that man's content, his channel exploded because of Night Skins content.
Amazingly well.
Like, and I think he's I think he's incredible. I think the stuff he's doing in the D&D space, in the tabletop space, is incredible.
Yes.
He's a quintessential piece of growing the black voice within tabletop.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
yeah, it's strange because everybody's like, oh yeah, I love your content. You're such an inspiration. I'm like, who are you talking about?
Like
Me?
me?
Bro, come on, stop it. Stop it. I play Apex Legends every night. Who am I inspiring? Stop
Like what? Hey John,
it.
welcome in. Um so uh what you know my reaction. My reaction has been like, I love this. I love Tales of Guardim.
Thank
What
you.
has other people's reaction been to your work? Like what have you received? What have you heard? Like have people reached out to you just saying thank you for what you do? Like what are the reactions, some of the reactions you've had?
Okay, so some of the coolest reactions I've had. So I have an Amazon wish list, right?
Hmm.
I wake up one day, I go outside, and someone bought me this to make content. And if you guys know,
Wow.
this is like $300. Someone just they're like, please make more. The boom I'm using on my mic right now,
Mhm.
someone bought. So I think one of the craziest reactions I've had so far is people just buying me crazy amounts of gear. I got a new green screen.
What?
Someone bought me like $300 in memory cards. Um, Someone by the name of Bronwyn, she's amazing. I call her mom now at this point.
Hmm.
Um, she's donated tons of money to help keep the show going. She is basically when I say if you ever hear me say the heart of Guardim, that's her.
Yes.
Um, Another great reaction is this: they were in the chat earlier. Andalusite Cross. They're helping me with an event that's happening that starts tomorrow. Um, it's it's been it's been incredible. And then I get a lot of, hey, you inspire me, and I'm like, like I said before, I'm like, what? Me? And I think I've only had one bad reaction so far. Only had one bad reaction,
Hmm.
and that bad reaction was so they heard the lore of Tales of Guardian. They're like, oh, so it sounds like it's black versus white. I'm like, that's not true because you obviously weren't
No,
listening.
not at all.
So like, if you guys don't know like the lore of my story, it's about when the world first was new, the planet of Guardim, the main continent, which is called Ebonus, eventually becomes Orangray. And there was these moon demons that came down. It was a great war, and there's a lot of stuff in between.
Right.
But they were like, "Oh, so it's just white people versus black people." I was like, "Not so much. There's a people called the Scion-Car. The Scion-Car are night skins who decided to defect and support the moon demons. There's a town called Elijan, and
Hmm.
Elijan is a town filled with moon demons who have renounced their ways and have taken on human form. And they're called moonskins. So like, there's nuance. There's a lot of levels to it. Not every night skin is the hero, and not
Right.
every person who's a former moon demon is the bad
That
guy.
guy.
But it still centers, of course, it still centers black characters. But I wanted it to be reflective of real life.
Right.
Another little fun fact: Elijan, the town of Elijan, is actually named after Jane Elliott. Jane Elliott, Elijan.
Wow.
So I wanted to make it so that like if I'm going to name this town after, it's going to be a town of like defectors of moon demons, it better be named after one of the people that gets invited to the cookout. And Jane Elliott is invited to the cookout. So I was like, all right,
Right.
it's Elijan.
I love that. I
But
love that.
that was the only bad reaction I've gotten so far. Everybody else has said they think my content's fun, they enjoy it. It's
It's
been it's
weird.
been
That's a
it's
weird
been a very
reaction.
positive journey.
Okay. Okay. So, um, these ideas, the town that you've named, you've said the inspiration for the names, the characters, the lore.
Mhm.
Where did that inspiration come from? Where did that idea of that come from?
So the inspiration for the lore,
Yes.
or so the lore is like, yeah. So again, that's an analog of real life. So if you really just like dissect my lore, um, it's about moon demons who think everything should be theirs.
Mm.
Wink. and they're pushing against all the other kingdoms to try to take their culture. Wink.
Wink.
And then it's about all these, and then there's night skins who kind of defect and wanna elevate themselves, and they think that elevating themselves means aligning themselves with the moon demons. Yay. So so yeah, that's what. But like, but a lot of the names are inspired by either things that mean a lot to me,
Mhm.
or people that mean a lot to me. So for instance, the main kingdom is called Rohikwa, right? So that's
Mhm.
taking 4 letters from the first name and 4 letters from the last name of Hiromu Arakawa, who is the mangaka who created Full Metal Alchemist. It's my favorite
Oh,
anime, which is why my
wow.
cat's name is Riza Hawkeye and my dog's name is Maze Hughes. And I have the flame transmutation seal
Oh,
tattooed on my
wow.
head, just like Roy Mustang.
Oh,
So
wow.
I'm big on like that. So there's another town called Kilsha Village,
Mhm.
Kilsha Shaquille O'Neal. So it's a land of giants, and it's named
Wow.
after Shaquille O'Neal, Kilsha.
That's
Um,
amazing.
there's another kingdom called Stashao, and it's a kingdom of pirates, and they have like a West Indian kind of mixed with an African accent. And Stashao is actually called and people think goes, oh yeah, he must have taken stash like a thief would steal, so he's stashing things away. No, Staten Island is where I'm from, so
Mhm.
Stat, and the nickname for Staten Island is Shaolin,
So you're
Stashao.
a New
So
Yorker.
yeah, I'm a New Yorker, born and raised, living in Texas for the last almost 5 years. Um,
Oh, wow.
and then
Okay.
there's some other things. So what was it? So there's the Sorhanu Highlands to the east.
Mhm.
Sora and I think what was it, Hanuel are both words for sky. One is Korean, one's Japanese. The Kuroi Pifu, that is Kuroi means I think dark in Japanese, and Pifu means skin in Chinese. Kuroi Pifu.
Okay.
So and then there's like little things like, for instance, if you guys join my Patreon, and I'm not trying to plug it, but I'm just letting you guys
Plug
know.
away.
If you
That's what it
if you join the Patreon, there's a $15 tier. Once you join the $15 tier, I will either name a minor character or a minor um a place after you. So like there's a video that talks about Yinrea and the moon demons,
$15
right?
Look at $15.
if you so there's a place where like that video took place in the woods called the Labus Woods. That's named after Patricia Labus.
Mhm.
There's another video about the Pirates of Stash Out, right? The bar the bar and tavern we're at is the Hollingshead Tavern and Inn. That's named after Henry Hollingshead, who's one of the $15 tiers. And then going back to this stuff that inspired me, Yinrea Aryan. Yinrea Aryan.
Oh, okay.
So that's how
Gotcha.
we got Yinrea, then Undying, and then Ebonus is just a play on the French telling of Ebene, which is just means black, or
That's amazing. That's
yeah,
amazing. So you, every single voice is you. Every
yes,
single character is you. Every single voice is you,
yes,
and every single
yes,
character is unique.
yeah.
How?
Oh,
How?
because you.
Like I struggle. Okay, I write. Okay, but
Okay.
when I do run games for my website, whatever I'm doing for work, um,
Mhm.
I do voices, but I have to consciously think about every single voice before I do it. So it takes me a
Yeah.
while to go, okay, wait, hold on, this is there it is. So how do you do that? How do you jump from Yask, who's one of the main characters, to
Yask for the strongest fist among all the Nightskins. Yes.
yeah, to and now I'm having a brain fart to one of the supporting characters. How do you do that?
So like Rob, so it's for one, it's not just about changing the voice, it's about internally changing the personality, right? So
Mhm.
so like when, for instance, when I'm thinking I'm Yask, right? Inside of my head, I'm thinking I'm Yask, I'm the most powerful night skin. I like to joke around, but I also have a lot of internal pain that I'm dealing with. So I'm like,
Right.
I'm Yask 4, and I'm the strongest night skin, I'm the strongest fist among all the night skins. But I also have a bit of pain inside my soul, so sometimes I drift off. But then I tighten my voice a little bit and get a little higher with that. And that's because I am the more studious and I'm more attentive Rob. I'm his best friend, and I'm kind of tired of his crap. So that's why I talk a little higher and right here. And then we're talking about Namda. And Namda is not exactly the sharpest tool in the shed. So his voice gets a little lower. He kind of slows down his speech. But one thing you hear in his voice is power. You're not. UT sounds like the
That's
type of person
amazing.
where if you fight him,
That is
it's going
amazing.
to be a problem. And then there's what's this guy? Oh yeah, Telos. Telos, he's sniveling. You know he's sniveling just by the way
Oh,
that he speaks. He
that is
speaks in like he
amazing.
has a snake's tongue going on. It's very silly. And then there's the king of Kavut, the head elf of Kavut, and his
That's
voice is a little inspired
freaking
by
amazing.
Castlevania Alucard. So
Mm.
sometimes I draw inspiration from other voices. So yeah. So it's my whole thing is when I'm doing these characters, and then there's the toothless man, and he says, and then, I'm sorry, and then he's kind of he you don't know what he's thinking, neither does he, and he's just he's kind of talks to you, but he's kind of lovable. So he makes a face and he talks like this.
That is amazing. That's amazing. Like, look, I can do accents, but it takes me some time going, okay, I'm preparing for this TTRPG, I'm preparing for this game, this session or whatever, and I know these characters I have to do. I have them in my head. We are gonna stick with those. There's no improvisation. Please don't ask me to do it. Doesn't have like that was flawless. That was like so seamless from character to character. And
Oh,
my
thank you.
mind just kind of goes, what? How? you know, you know. So in your opinion, what is
Mhm.
the most, I guess, personalities trait that someone would need to work in industry such as either production or just being on TikTok or doing what you do?
Um, wow, that's a good question. What personality traits? I have so many quirks to me. Oh, hey, get down, sweetheart. There you go. I don't know. You have to be okay with failing, and in the sense that don't see failure. Like I said, don't see failure as failure, but don't be afraid that if you put out something, it doesn't hit. Don't be
Mhm.
afraid to experiment. So be open to experimentation. Be open to being playful with your content and trying new things. Because you're not going to get it on the first try, and you might not
Oh,
get it on the second try, but
whew.
you might get it on the 15th try, and that 15th try is going to be dope. Um, don't be someone like. Here's the thing: I am actually an introvert. I know it
Mhm.
doesn't seem like it. I don't like being around people for more than 2 hours at a time before I get burnt out. Okay, it's too much for me.
That's
Um, but don't be afraid to be sociable through your content. So,
Mhm.
one thing that's really helped me is being engaging. By when someone comments on a video, I try my best to at least heart react. And if they actually type something out, I engage them. I write something in the comment thread. So don't be afraid to do that. But and just and having a sense of openness and the ability to learn, because I have a lot of people who I've learned with. Like I don't know if you guys know the content creator What's Good English.
Mm.
He
Mhm,
does
mhm.
really great content. He's one of my
Yes.
mentors. Um, who else is a mentor of mine? Again, Bald Head News, aka
Mhm.
Diary of a Holy Night. He is a mentor of mine. Um, that's another thing. Yeah, have the ability to be okay with reaching out to larger content creators.
Right.
That's not really a personality trait, but that's just something I would suggest trying. If you see a
Mhm.
larger content creator, like Robin Rambles is another friend of mine.
Right.
I have a lot of content creators who are far larger. Excuse me, far larger than me. But I talk to them. I engage with them. They teach me things like racial equity insights. He's another great content creator that I talk to,
Right.
and you'll come to find out they'll help you in terms of supporting you, reposting you, engaging with your fans as well. Um, but just also last big thing, make sure what you're doing you're having fun with.
Right.
That is probably the single most important thing I could tell you is have fun with what you are creating. Because if you're not having fun, it's pointless. Don't do it for the fans. Do
Yeah.
it for you first. And
Yep.
then because then you'll attract the right audience if you do it for you first.
Right.
Make sure it's for you.
Um, with with all of that, where do
Hmm.
you what's the end game for not end game because I don't want this ever to end. I love this story. But where do you want to see this go? How far do you want to see this go? Where do you want to see this go
I
eventually?
would love to see this either serialized in a series of short novels, like light novels.
Hmm.
I would love to see this as a series on a streaming platform. I think that would be cool. Not BET Plus, please no, absolutely not. But um, I would love to see this on a streaming platform, where there's like notable actors taking the roles, but also I would like to put people who have absolutely no like on screen presence being plucked from obscurity, either on TikTok or other streaming platforms. I would love to see. In fact, the biggest thing I would love to see is content creators being giving the chance to do this, kind of like what they did with Video Game High School with Freddie W
Mm,
back in the day on
yes.
Netflix. I thought that was an awesome thing to see some of my favorite, because Freddie W was one of the OG my favorite content creators. Like I
Right.
absolutely, I've watched everything Freddie W has ever done.
Oh
And
wow.
it was just like it was a sense of validation because I was a YouTuber at one time and I still
Mhm.
consider myself it sometimes, even though I don't post there anymore.
That's the next
Um,
question.
yeah. It was just like it was very validating to see a content creator get his own series. And that's
Got it.
becoming a more common thing, but there's still a vacuum for black content creators. So I
Right.
would love to see it on streaming platforms, but I would love it that we got like black TikTokers, like the Blurred Girl or other people getting either in a writing group. Because oh my God, could you imagine if the Blurred Girl who wrote the
The
Wakanda book
Wakanda,
about the
yep.
Dora Milaje, yeah, imagine her in the writing room. Are you kidding me? You don't understand
What?
how, because like being able to share her brain would, oh my. Okay, so
Thank
like
you
yeah,
for the
that's
hydrate, Haley.
that's what I'm talking about. Like I would want those type of people in my circle, in my writing room. I would gladly pay her twice the industry rate to have her sit next to me, but like, yo, this is a good idea. I'm like, you know what? You're right.
Yeah.
You are right.
Yeah. I
Let's do
mean,
that. Whatever you say, ma'am.
yeah.
Please.
Another person who I would love to interview. Like I'm dying to interview her.
Oh, definitely send out because she loves to interview, and so I mean, I have no doubt that she would want to be interviewed by another content creator of color, such as your lovely self. So
Oh, thank you.
I put it out there. Put it out there. I
I
mean, oh,
hope.
sorry. Go ahead.
Well, you know what? Part of it, which kind of leads into the question: how do you get over the nerves of reaching out to people like you don't know? Like I don't know you.
Here's
Like I
here's
didn't know
here's
you.
here, here's it
You
is.
know.
Here
You
it is.
know.
The worst they can say is no.
True.
The
Yep.
worst they can say is no. And then if they say no, does that affect you in any way? Does that stop you from content creating? Because if they say no, then they say no. That's it.
Right. Right.
That's it. Like freaking. That's how I became friends with Blam Fam. Like
Mm,
I just approached him. Worst case scenario, he doesn't become my mutual.
right.
He's my mutual, and we talk all the time. So
Right.
like I've been on his lives many times. We've shared lives together, and like again, I always you got to remember this: strip their fame away. They're
Right.
still people, and they came up on the same content creation pipeline as you. So everybody, and especially on TikTok, except for like a save few, everybody started in the trenches. Nobody there started with yeah. And who was it? Was it with Wayne Gretzky? You miss 100% of the shots you don't
Yep.
take, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
If you
Mm-hmm.
don't try, you're not gonna get it. I'm not even a sports person. I don't care anything about sports.
Mm,
Sports is just nothing to me. But that is a great quote, because if you don't try, the answer is going to be no. But
right.
if you do try, you got a 50% chance that they're going to say yes. And
Right.
what do you know? What if that chance is actually an 80% chance, but you decided to just dive right into that 20% of chance of no and make it 100% chance of no.
Right.
So take the shot, ask them. The worst they're going to say is no. The worst they're going to do is not find your messages, and here's the thing. They also have a very busy inbox. So if they say no, or if they ignore you, if they don't see your message, don't think of it like, oh, they ignored me. They don't like me. And I made that mistake once.
Okay.
And here, I'll give you an example. Tony Weaver Jr.
Mm,
For a while, I did not like him. And here's why. And it's not
really?
and it's not because he was mean. It's not because he said anything bad about me. It is because when he started making when the Night Skins content thing started popping off, he was like, hey, when you make your content, tag me in it. I can't wait to see it. So I tagged him, right?
Mm,
I was like, worst case scenario, he's not gonna say anything. But then he ignored it, and I unknowingly internalized that, right?
right.
And I had to at some point take myself out of it. Like, yo, he's probably busy. He's a verified content creator.
Right.
His inbox is probably popping. So eventually, he did reach out to me. And I'm a big believer of, if you can say it behind their back, you should say it to their face. So I was like, listen, straight up, I didn't like you, man, and I didn't like you because I thought you didn't like me.
I thought
And
you
he's like,
didn't
no,
like
no, no,
me.
no, no. He's like, no. What happened was, my inbox is very busy,
Right.
and we are Black content creators, so a good 20 to 30% of those inboxes are not exactly, or
Mm,
those tags, excuse me, are not exactly on the up and up. Sometimes they'll
yeah.
tag Tony, like Tony Weaver Jr., N-word, 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 or
Right.
stuff like that. You know
Right.
what I mean? So you got to remember that sometimes these people get overwhelmed as well.
Right.
So give it a shot, and then you never know. Like me, 4 or 5 months down the road, all of a sudden you're in mutuals with Tony Weaver Jr., which was just,
Exactly.
and then like
Yeah.
anytime I comment on any of his stuff, he always responds to me. He makes sure to always respond to me. We
Right.
always have a little conversation. We have a little catch up. It's like, hey Tony, how you doing? Blah blah blah. And now like it makes you realize if you just take the time and you try,
Mhm.
either they're gonna respond or they're not. But if they do respond, you have a new friend. If not, then go talk to somebody else or just wait. You may think they've ignored you when the reality is they just haven't gotten to you yet
Right.
because they have a long list of things they got to go through. So don't
So
be afraid.
So okay, so little story about me a little bit back here. It's like this is one of the main things I like to do on Twitch. I love
Mm-hmm.
interviewing people. I love talking to people. Other stuff is writing that I do,
Mm-hmm.
but I have decided that contacting people has been a thing. Do you think that you can overreach who you contact? Because I've contacted some people who part of me feels like I probably should have waited a little bit, but I've contacted people who big names, I've contacted people who I don't expect an answer from. Do you
Okay.
think people should hold back until they're bigger or just go for it? Just
You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. You miss 100% of the. Listen, what's another great example? I'm trying to think, because there's so many ways. Like, okay, for instance, here's a silly thing. Cleo Thomas had a live.
Mm,
Okay, and if you guys don't know who Cleo Thomas is, he was zero in holes. Okay, so I'm a fan of his. I'm a fan of this actor. He starred opposite Shia LaBeouf.
mhm.
And he's also in one of my favorite series on YouTube, which is called UALA. And if you don't know what UALA is, it is a live action My Hero Academia on YouTube, right? And he plays the villain. The hero is played by Guy De Silva. He's one of the biggest rising stuntmen in Hollywood. He's been on Corridor Crew quite a few times where Stuntman reacts.
Mhm.
He has been in Captain America, Civil War. He was in as a stuntman in Black Panther. So this is the type of people that Cleo hangs out with. And the guy who films this series is the stunt cameraman for Shang-Chi. Okay? So this is a long resume, right?
Wow. Wow.
So I see Cleo Thomas is live, and I have an option. I can ask him when season 2 is coming out for UALA. I've been waiting years.
Mhm.
Or I can sit there and just watch his live. There's thousands of people in his live. He's got 2,000 people in his live.
Right.
I was like,
Right.
screw it.
I
I'm going
was
to ask him.
asked. Yeah.
So I asked him, and the comment went by. And this was when, I think this was my name was still Stories of the Corduroy Food, right?
Mhm.
So it whizzes by. He's like, what was that, Stories? What? Oh, you want to know when season 2 is? Oh, so we have season 2 filmed, and we're just waiting for the okay. And then us and Riven 3i, we're gonna put out the next season. As soon as it's done, it's all filmed, it's all completely done.
That's the
Had
best
I not,
feeling.
yeah, exactly. Had I not asked the question, I would not have gotten the answer.
Right. Right. That is the
So,
best feeling. That's the best feeling.
so yeah. So yeah. So if you don't ask, you're never gonna get an answer. If you stay in your head, you're never gonna get an answer.
Right.
And I've met tons of celebrities. I've had tons of interactions like that, where if I just would have kept my mouth shut, nothing would have happened. But
Right.
if you try, and again, the worst that can happen is no, and is no that bad of a thing? Because no just tells me, all right, I got to try something different. I got to talk to somebody different. I gotta work on something different, and just keep pivoting, keep changing, keep growing, and keep finding out. But listen, they're people. They're people.
Right.
That at the end of the day, they're all human beings, and some of them are going to be jerks, just like people who don't got money, and some of them are going to be absolute sweethearts. Like, I think a great example is someone who I was an extra with years and years and years ago. He's still the same dude, Eric Andre, great guy. I met him when we were extras in August Rush. He's a mega celebrity now. He's still as sweet a guy as he was back then. On the flip side, my mom tried to get an autograph for us from Isaac Hayes, and he was just the biggest douche canoe. So like,
Right.
it's but that's not a money thing, and it's not a status thing. That's
That's
just a
just their
person thing.
personality. Yeah.
Exactly.
Mm.
So if you want to ask somebody, if you feel like they're like 30 steps above you, remember when you ask somebody a question, remove the money from the situation
Yes.
and ask yourself, do you think they're going to respond? If you think they are, just ask them. Just talk
Uh,
to them.
I ask all the time. I'm constantly
Yeah,
asking. I'm
just keep
constantly
doing it.
putting it out there. I'll put it out there. I'm going to continue because I love talking to people. I love interviewing people
Yeah.
and getting getting what their ideas out there. So you talked about streaming before and about
Hmm.
being on TikTok, that you used to
Yeah.
be on YouTube. Do you think you
Yeah.
will go back to YouTube or maybe branch out to Twitch or some other streaming platforms, or do you just going
I
to
feel
continue?
like I feel like TikTok is trying to keep me on TikTok. Don't get me wrong. I'm probably going to start dumping stuff on YouTube,
Hmm.
and I might simulcast on Twitch. But the way that TikTok is, they are trying to keep me on that app, and I am not mad. So I finally got access to TikTok live subscriptions,
Oh
which is
wow.
kind of like Twitch subs.
Hmm.
So and now TikTok has a beta program. So since I've gone live so many times, if you go to my lives look a little different than a lot of people's lives, because a lot
Yeah.
of people's lives, it looks like their phone.
Hmm.
Mine is using the same camera I'm using here because there's a TikTok live studio beta going on right now. And they invited me to it. They're like, hey, you stream a lot. Do you want to stream better? And I'm like, yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, yes, I do. Sure. And they've also updated their creator program. So they used to be like there was like a locked off pool of money that all the content creators can grab from. And if you were a smaller content creator, you were not getting a cut.
No.
Um, so now they're saying no, you get a cut of the revenue of TikTok,
Right.
which is
Right.
a vast difference once you hit 100 subs, 100 followers, 100,000, excuse me, 100,000 followers.
Hmm.
So now it's so weird to say this, but I'm a TikTok content creator. So
Gotcha.
if it comes down to what platform is my main platform, it is TikTok. I love doing TikTok. I know it's very problematic when it comes to melanated content creators,
Hmm.
but I see even now I'm talking like I'm on TikTok. So you have to be careful with
Yeah.
certain words you say. I'm
Yep.
like, you got to be careful of the palm colored people. It's like no.
No. Yeah.
So if you're a
Yeah.
black content creator on TikTok, it's a little more difficult.
Mhm.
But they keep coming at me like, listen, we know we kind of mess up with you guys, but
Yeah,
here's
but
another way to make
here,
some more money. Stay with us,
here's a
please.
little bit. Yes, here's a little bit of spice.
So I will branch out. I keep talking about dumping myself on YouTube because YouTube Shorts is where my money's going to be at right now.
Hmm. Hmm.
I know it, so I need to start posting there. I just keep forgetting because again, TikTok be putting in that work lately with me, and it's been, and also my fan base is there, right?
Right.
My like all of my supporters are there, and we have a great time, and I've been building this really awesome family there. And if you guys want to join the family, I would love that. We have a great time on our lives. Like
So
it's
check him
stupid
out.
fun, like literal stupid fun. Um, but yeah, I will be branching out, but not to Facebook. Facebook is dead to me. Facebook is a dead content creation.
Yes.
Even Facebook's trying to get me. Like
Really.
they said you've reached a level because I repost my content just on my normal page as
Hmm.
a public, and they're like, you can make yourself a professional page. Do you want to be a professional page? We'll pay you. You want this money? Please, here, have some money. And
Here, please come back. Please come
I
back.
don't want to do that.
Mm.
Facebook is the most clunky, gaudy. It's no MySpace.
It's
Tom would
also
never.
it's no MySpace. It's no MySpace. Tom would never. Speaking
Tom would never.
you being a solely TikTok creator, you went from the time I contacted you. I think you were like 7,900 and something. You
Yeah,
are on the precipice of 13,000 followers
yeah.
in a
That
very
was wild.
short period of time. You
That
went
was wild.
from you increased 5,000 followers in about 2 weeks, because I think I contacted you
Yeah,
about 2 weeks ago.
yeah.
One, how does it feel? And two, how, Sway? Like
That was pretty crazy. So this goes back to what I said earlier, guys. Make sure to diversify your content as long as it's still fun to you, and as long as it has some kind of through line. So I'm on Facebook doing what one does on Facebook, which is
Mhm.
doom scroll, because that's all
Yes.
it's good for. And someone posted a DoorDash, and it said, if my DoorDashes aren't like this, I don't want them. So I saw that, and I was like, yo, this would be funny if I read this in my fantasy voice.
Mm.
and I posted it to TikTok. And I was like, the worst case scenario, nobody watches it, which would be, in my eyes, I already know that's not going to happen. I've already built a really awesome fan base. I always say this, and I make sure to say it in all my lives. I say two things. May the night bless you and keep you safe, which is like my well-wishing to you when you leave my live. And I always tell my followers, you guys are the best guys on TikTok. Hands down, pound for pound. You guys are the best followers on TikTok. If you follow me, you're the best person on TikTok. And no one can tell me different, period. And one, that instills confidence in myself as a content creator, and two, it instills confidence in my followers, and it makes them believe. And again, this is not me just saying it. I do believe they are the best followers because of the way they support me. But when you instill confidence in your followers, and they instill that confidence back in you, you know they're going to watch your stuff. Right. So I knew that if I posted that video, at least 20 people are going to watch it. And guess what? 20 people is good enough for me. I know that sounds silly, but 20 people is good enough for me. And when 20 people becomes good enough for you, you're going to get more than 20 people. So I posted that, and I remember when I posted it, it was getting 100 views a minute. I was like, this is about to explode.
Whoa, right.
This is about to explode. And then by the time I had gone to pick up my son and came back home, it already had 20,000 views. So I was like,
20,000.
Yep. So this is going to explode. And then by the, like today, where's it at? It is sitting at, and I have another video like that as well. It is sitting at 761,000 views, 131,000 likes, and 3,264 comments. And it's just me reading DoorDash in a posh medieval British voice. That's it.
That's it.
That's it. That's the content, guys. That's it.
That's literally
and it's fun, and it's super quick. I just record it on my phone. I pull it into CapCut, I edit it, and it's a great supplemental material until I get my other stuff done, the stuff I'm more passionate about. And that's another thing I have to say. When you diversify your content, find something that's honestly easy. Like if you have something that's very involved, like I do, if you make something that's like smaller,
right, and
easier to put out, that does okay numbers, do that as your supplemental content. But that's how that exploded, because my first explosion was when I stitched a video. I stitched a stitch, and it was a guy. I don't know if you remember the exercise band video where the guy was stretching himself with the exercise band, and it released from the door and it whipped him in the back.
Yes, I felt that in my soul.
So there's a stitch of that of a white guy pulling a clamp off of the door, and it's slapping him in the back. So then I stitched that with me laughing. Mm-hmm. Right, and then Martin Luther King coming out the back of it, giving me a death stare, and I'm just like, and that got over 1 million. So that did over 1 million. That got me from 1,000, I think, to 6,000. And then from there, I started like really pushing out the Night Skins content, and that got me from 6,000 to almost 8,000. And then, so that was a slow climb. But I don't mind the slow climb, and that's another thing. Right. Be prepared for slow climbs. There's gonna be spells where you get like 5,000 followers, and there's gonna be spells where you get like, because right now it's tapering off, where you get like 200 or 300 followers, and then again I did another piece of content, and that got me another 5,000 followers, and it started a new series that people seem to love. That I think that series at this point collectively has about 1 million views in the last like 2 weeks.
Views.
Yeah,
that's insane. That's insanity. I'm going to back up a little bit. So I know for Black community, excellence and overachievement are minimal. Like anything that we try to do, it's usually like we do it to the absolute top tier of our ability, specifically just for entry into white spaces.
Yes.
Whereas our counterparts can be middle of the road or do you think that we should still we'll be able to be average and still be able to get that entry level access as our white counterparts, or do you think that we have to keep that bar super high to always be there?
So the optimist in me says I would love that to be the case where we don't have to push as hard. The realist in me understands that that's not the case, but the dopeness in me says we always overachieve and we over succeed, and the reason is because we're dope like that. So it's like, even I don't know if even the bar was lowered, if I would ever stop pushing as hard as I do, only because black excellence to me is still black excellence.
Mhm.
Like, it's just like, we as a community have gone through so much that I feel like even if we reach a level where we don't have to work as hard, you can't steal the magic from us. Like, you can't steal the black girl, black boy, black man, black woman, black they, them magic from us. We are the trendsetters.
Right.
We are the world builders. We are the inventors, and just the godfathers, mothers, and the womb of this world. So I feel like no matter what ends up happening, we will always be uh melanated magic. But
Mhm.
I don't see, it's like, I do want that Star Trek world, that Star Trek Federation world where um it's not an issue, where we don't have to work twice as hard to get half as
Right.
much. I do think it will get better. I
Right.
can say that. I don't know if it'll ever go away. Um, Simply because until we dismantle certain systems, it's not going to happen. Until we dismantle the system of the white patriarchy in Hollywood, things are going to remain the same. Until we dismantle the systems of white patriarchy in government and in housing and in every single industry that currently exists, we're still going to have to work twice as hard. Um, like, for instance, like, my name is Batsu, right? But that's not
Mhm.
my given name. I have a dead name. My dead name is Irish Catholic. The reason it's Irish Catholic is to give me a foot in the door,
Right.
and I hated it. Okay, I hated my name my whole life, but I knew that, like, I knew why my mother gave me, my brother, Irish Catholic names. But then even when I got a job, like, for instance, I worked at Vape Wild. Like, some people recognize me from, I used to be a vape influencer. I used to work for a vape
Mhm.
company. I had 6 different jobs at that place. And don't get me wrong, I loved that job. I want to make it perfectly
Right.
clear. So if anybody's watching it, I loved y'all there. You were my favorite boss, Dave. I loved it. But there was someone who got hired in who was making more than me. He was younger than me, making more than me, right? While I am the junior videographer, the lead sound designer, the lead writer. I was the one of the copy content writers.
Mhm.
I was a co-director in a lot of projects. Helped run a podcast, and I ran 2 shows. I did all of that, and I was making $5 less than, like, someone who wrote 2 scripts and did copy content.
Wow.
Was his content good? Yes, I'm not knocking him. I'm not knocking
Right.
him at all. But it's the fact that I had 5 jobs. I had to shine brighter than everybody. I had to bust my butt. I had to pay my own way to even get that job. So, like, when they hired me, I had to pay for my flight to get down there. All right.
Wow.
I had no one's, like, financially supporting me when I got down there. They helped me out here and there, threw me a couple bucks here and there, but it was just me making, trying to make it ends meet. And this is a multi-million-dollar company, and I'm doing multi-million-dollar work
Right.
for like less than $20 an hour. Like, I'm not even kidding you. It was less than $20 an hour, and I'm writing ad content for a regional radio. I'm writing ads that went overseas to Ireland. I went to a convention where I'm signing autographs because I'm the face of the company. But the
Right.
face of the company was making less than $20 an hour, but doing the work of 4 people. And it wasn't a small company either. Like, they had over 300 employees
Mhm.
nationwide. They had several stores. They had 2 stores overseas in Ireland. We were opening up more stores in other markets. So, and they just got a cash infusion from British American Tobacco. So they were
Mhm.
not a small company. They were owned by millionaires. They were run by millionaires. Great guys. But it was just the fact that my pay disparity in terms of my, because they try to rationalize, like, oh yeah, we just hired you. Yeah, but you hired me to do,
Do this.
yes, like, you're paying outside content creators $3,000 to come in and do videos, but you're paying me less than $20 an hour. So I totally get, like, the disparity is going to be there for a while, even in
Mhm.
places where you are treated. Because, I don't get me wrong, I was treated exceptionally well at that job, and I'm never going to knock that. Like, I always give the positive. I was treated very, very well. My voice was heard. Any ideas that I had got done. So my bosses really treated me like I was an invaluable part of the team. But the person
Right.
who controlled the paychecks saw me as, he's entry level. He doesn't have that much experience, even though I've been an entertainer since I was 3.
Right.
So I don't know, maybe because I didn't have brand recognition or whatever the case may be, or I didn't have a big name. Even
You
though
now.
the reason I got hired was they had a private Facebook group, right, with 25,000 people, right, and they called me the unofficial mascot of Vape Wild. All 25,000 of them called me that. So
Wow.
your 25,000 people in your customer base who bought your products recognized my face. In fact, every video that I was in had more views. Period. Because I was the only one who could actually act, except for
Right.
like two other people, which and like those videos would pop too. And half the time, I was writing those videos. Well,
Right.
2/3 of the time, I was writing those videos. So even in a world where I feel like um, we like things are getting better, it's not even about like the minds of the people around you. It's about the system that is already set up that has to get dismantled before we
Right.
ever get to a place where we can be seen as equal in terms of pay, in terms of recognition, in terms of triumph, and in terms of having to work so damn hard just to get the same crumbs.
Yeah. Yeah. Um. Okay. I'm gonna keep saying it because it's still my favorite, one of my favorite shows on TikTok. But I love Dungeons and Dragons. I grew up. Let me rephrase that. My teenage years was very nerdy. So I am still a big nerd. I love Dungeons and Dragons. Part of my what I do is
Mhm.
professional game master. Um,
Nice.
and I big part of me wants you to convert your story into a TTRPG or something along those lines. Will that ever happen?
I would like that. I have to get back into tabletop. I haven't played it since I was like in my early teens, so my knowledge of tabletop is bumpkus at this point.
Mhm.
Um, but if I were to do it, I would definitely work with Neo Soul God before
Mm,
making that happen. Because when it comes to tabletop, there's nobody I trust more,
right,
and to who would have the passion and care to make sure that is like, 'cause just to be clear, he's already made me a class, and he's
right.
also made me a character in D&D and in tabletop. If you get one of his PDFs, there is a night skin class, and there's Yosk is one of the characters you can play, and he's already
Wow.
built it out, and I'm like, this guy's amazing.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I would love to either do it like that, or I am like my avenue of fantasy is again JRPGs and some Western RPGs.
Hmm.
Big into old school SquareSoft, and I still say SquareSoft because I am not a Square Enix guy. That's not. They are two
Gotta
separate
think.
companies in my head. Okay, but my biggest thing was I would love to have a JRPG styled RPG where it has a black lead. I
Wow.
would and turn based too. Like I know a lot of people are like, "Oh, I love my Kingdom Hearts and everything." I love Kingdom Hearts too, and Final Fantasy 7 remake is great, but I still play Final Fantasy 7
Wow.
because I love the original. Like that's my favorite game. I've played it every year
I
since it
think
came out.
I think that's something that a lot of blurs and nerds do. Once we like something, we stick to that something, and it's hard
Mhm.
for us to venture away from. Like I love
Yeah.
Assassin's Creed, and I love all the new stuff, but I will
Mhm.
always migrate back to old Assassin's Creed
Mhm.
because that's my favorite thing. So I think that's part of what we always do. Um,
Yeah.
so you said that Neo Soulgar would be the man to I guess lead the ship on that on your
Yo, absolutely.
absolutely. Have you do you plan on getting back into D&D or playing D&D anytime soon or
Yeah,
any
actually. So
TTRPG?
I have a bunch of people who want me to do it. So like my best friend, her husband is he's heavy into D&D, and he wants to do a campaign with me where I play as, my character from my
Mhm,
world. Um um that Bald Head News from TikTok.
mhm,
I always
mhm.
like to plug him. He's like, I got a friend with 1 million subs. I got a friend with 1 million subs, y'all. But anyway, he wants to fly out here and do a campaign.
Oh wow.
Um, Jen Thura, if you guys don't know who Jen Thura is, Jenthura, he makes maps on TikTok for people's campaigns. He gets commissions and stuff like that. He's incredibly talented. He's got like over 100,000 followers. He was following me before I noticed he because
Really?
he
Wow.
came up my For You, and I was like, yo, these guys. And he was making a map of one of my favorite meme musicians. Like, I don't know, guys, if you guys know who meme musicians are, but they're musicians, very talented musicians, who instead of using their talents to become like concert musicians or release an album, they use their talents to make jokes.
Yeah.
So one of my favorites is Seth Everman. He's the guy who was like playing.
Oh yes, yes, yes. Yep.
So that's Seth Everman, and so he's making a map of Seth Everman's head, and like using his
Wow.
head as like the outline, and it's in
Wow.
this incredible map. And I'm like, yo, that's Seth Everman. I am a big fan of him, and I'm like, and this guy's making these amazing maps. Let me go check him out. Bloop. Holy crap. He's following me already. He
Like,
says follow back. So I come to find out he lives in Dallas and he wants to do a D&D campaign with me. So I'm like, yo, if you guys can refresh me, that'd
that'd
be
be
great.
amazing. Yeah.
So there's a bunch of people who want to get me back into to D&D. So I'm down. I just need a refresher course, but I'm down. I am
Easiest way
so
to do
down. I
refresher
love board
course is
games.
to play. Just have someone that's
I'm
that's
down.
to play. You know.
I'm down.
Eventually, I'm
Like,
gonna.
considering most of my
figure it
fan
out.
base is D&D anyway. Like the bulk of my fan base right now are all D&D
Yeah.
aficionados.
Mhm,
So
mhm. So I don't want to take too much more of your time, but what do you have planned? What's in the works for you next? What's next? Tell us what's going on with you.
okay, so like right now we have a war going on.
Oh,
So I'll tell you guys a story. We were all hanging out in live one night, and so Victor, this guy named Victor Markov, he's one of my followers and friends, and he says 2 words. I'm not even going to say it on his live because I have enough respect for you guys. But if you hear those 2 words, you lose. That's all I'm going to say. That's all you should know. That's all you should need to know what those 2 words are, and none of us should say it out loud. So the whole chat gets upset, right? Because he
what?
said the 2 words, right? And then he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry. Would you like me to make up to you with pizza?" And I was like, "I'm from New York. Don't you offer me pizza unless I know where it's from."
Texas pizza.
Disrespectful. So then this person enters the chat, and their name is xo.bing_, right? And we're all having a good time. And I have this thing going on called the list. If you come into my chat, right, and I see you leave, I'll take the name I saw pop up and I'll put it on the list. And what's the list for? I don't know. But we just threaten people with it. I'm like, if you don't stay in this live, you will end up on the list. And they're like, what's the list? I'm like,
hold on a
I'm
second.
like, the list. I'm like, the list is wet socks in your shoes. The list is nothing but anime filler, which is basically swimsuit episodes and the festival episode. You know what I'm talking about. And they're like, oh, I don't want to. And then people would hear that as they're trying to scroll through, and they'll come back like, I don't want to be on the list. I don't want to be on the list. So this person comes in, and we're having a grand time, right? And then Victor's like, do you like sushi, Batsu? You like sushi? And the girl was like, oh, that's my 13th reason why. So then as as the music is playing, right? I have Chrono Cross or Chrono Trigger music playing. I start narrating this tale about how she jumped out of a 14th floor window because she heard her boss brought her sushi, and I was like, we're going to war against Victor Markov, and you will go down. And then the chat started going, yeah, for Guardim, for Bing, and everybody's getting riled up. We did a memorial service, and then what ended up happening, it started to snowball out of control. So I put out a post. I was like, hey, we're going to war. Who wants to join in? The next day, my chat was at like 25, 30 people. They're like, I want to go to war. Well, we're going to go to war. So they started choosing their sides, and it got to the point where I had to start doing dice rolls to figure out who could be on what team, right?
Wow.
And then so now starting Sunday, because I have to go live at about 10 o'clock tonight on my TikTok to kind of just clean everything up, get everything ready. We have brackets already ready. It's going to be a 7-day war. It's going to be a best 2 out of 3 dice rolls with using a D20. And each day we'll have a victor from whose side. And now we have our own plot line inside the live. So Guardim Live now has its own alternative Guardim universe with its own storyline that people are taking a part of. So whatever happens in this battle will tell the tale of the next part of the Guardim Live starting line. And this doesn't affect the main storyline. So think of like the videos I make as Earth 616,
Right.
and think of like the live of Earth 1610.
Oh,
So
wow.
they're 2 different worlds. People are creating their characters, they're making their videos. So they're making videos for me to take in because that's going to be their intro video. So when they come up to go for their battle, I play their video.
What did I miss?
Yes, there's a lot going on. There's a full bracket that I've made, like, and it's designed under the Tales of Guardim designing. I've made like an animated video that deals with Victor Markov. If you go to the playlist of Guardim Live, there's 2 videos detailing what you have to do to be part of the war. And once the war gets locked down, we're going to have like spectators. You can come in and hang out. talk about it. Yeah, so there's a war for Guardim going on between the good people of Guardim and the evils of Victor Markov and his legions. So
Oh
that's what we
God,
got going on right now.
I
Pretty
have
crazy.
I missed 2 lives. I missed 2 lives, and this is what
It got
happened.
crazy. Like
Oh
it's
my
been going on.
God.
It's been building. It's been building like crazy. Because now I go live twice a day. I go live
Right.
at either 10 to 10:30 in the morning and then 10 to 10:30 at night.
Right.
And each live now, like the daytime lives are more geared towards the fantasy element, and then the nighttime lives are a little more chill, getting to know people, making new friends, and promoting content a little bit. But yeah, that's what's going on now. That's the big thing that's going on right now. That we got a war going on.
Thank you, Sinister, for hanging out with us. I really
Thanks for
appreciate
hanging
it.
out, Sinister.
So I will just let you know, free, just so you guys know, and then in chat know, everyone in my office knows your voice. At 10 o'clock in the morning, you're my live on my desk in my office, my door open, and they're like, "Who's that person speaking?" So everyone, they don't know, they might not know who you are or know what you look like, but they hear your voice out of my office. It's great.
That's awesome.
It's all, I love it. I love it because like,
Next time you come to live, I'm like, hey, how you doing? What's going on? Welcome to Guardim Live in the Quiet Storm. It's your boy Batsu spinning the hits from PlayStation 1.
So many times where people will walk down the hall, look in my office, and go, "What is happening in there?" Like, go away. It's alive. It's alive. It's alive. So, John says that he's been watching Black Cover and that you 100% perfectly explain filter eps.
Yeah, that's exactly what filler episodes are. It's nothing but bathing suit episodes and festivals. That's it. That's it. It's just, or someone gets lost and they have to find them, and they go on a Monty Python like journey through town until they find them, and they're just like, "I was here the whole time." But no character development happens. It's a waste of everybody's time. I hate it.
So, look, I want to say thank you for hanging out with me. Does anyone
Absolutely,
in chat
it was
have any
fun.
questions for this man? He's an
I'm down to
amazing
answer some
content creator,
questions.
and he's down to answer whatever you, well, within reason. You guys like, feel free to put your questions out there. In the meantime, other than TikTok, what are your plans? Like you said, you were getting ready to move. Like, what are you trying to do?
Oh, so
next?
yeah, to do next is it's I'm not gonna lie, it is mainly TikTok focused. But yeah, we are planning on moving to Oregon in May of next year. I'm trying to wait till our son's out of school. Because that's where my fiance is from. Who is the Within Reason directed at? But no, yeah, so yeah, waiting for my son to get out of school before we move.
Today.
Has Batsu seen any of the Night Skin Zodiacs? No.
Oh, yes. Can you someone drop that in, drop the I think you have the book has in your Discord. Can you drop the Discord? So I recently, about a couple months back, I interviewed Neo Soul God. And
yeah, I might have seen it. Yeah, I might have seen it because if it's what I'm thinking it is now, because you just said his name and then all of a sudden memories came back. I was like,
yep.
So I probably did see them.
I interviewed in those. So my mod and my friend and the person who does all my artwork and an amazing artist was in that interview. He was in the chat and interview and got really inspired and like every single got inspired by that and decided to do all the Zodiac night skins and draw each and every one of them. But can you just drop that in Discord? You could take a look. He finished all 12. They look absolutely sick. Like they are amazing.
Sagittarius gang.
Like it's what's your sign?
I'm a Sagittarius.
Sagittarius is very cool. I think you might like
very creative and mentally insane. So
but those pictures are amazing. I think you probably
I'm gonna click on the link now. I'm gonna click on it and let's see. Let's look at these. Hold on. Oh, these are fire.
Yes.
Yo, hook it up. Hook it up. Can you draw me like one of your French girls? Like, what's good? Like, what's happening? Like, I would love it. Yo, can you draw me for like Tales of Guardim? Because I would cry, probably, like weep. Really
like,
manly
amazing art. Like chef's kiss, like definitely, So he says, yeah, man. I mean,
Oh man. Oh, really?
dude.
Seriously? Oh, shoot. Okay, man. Oh, really?
Dude.
Seriously? Oh, shoot. Okay, yo, I will give you my information. You. Hey, listen. I'm gonna put my Discord link in there, and you're gonna join that
Absolutely.
Discord.
Totally put your
All you can
Discord
join
in.
it. Hold on, let me get that real right quick, because I need you to come hang out with the family. She's already there. She's already part of the family. She already knows.
Yes, it's amazing.
So
But
hold
those,
on,
I
get
mean,
that link.
can I put? I don't. I'm scared to put anything up on here that's gonna mess up this stream. But we're gonna attempt to put up Sagittarius. I'm terrified. Let's see. Hold on a second. Let me see if I can get it to happen.
Oh, do I have to
Because
sign in? Oh, I have to sign. I'm not even signed into to the thing. All right. I don't. Am I logging in? Do I have my login stuff? Oh, there it goes. Hold on. Login. Are you really making me go through? Oh, you're gonna make me go through all these steps. Hold on, guys. I'm gonna go to my Gmail real quick. Oh my God, I haven't been on Twitch in like 84. It's been 84 years.
it's
Hold
been
on 1 second.
1,000 years for me to try to figure out.
Okay, here we go. Where is it
That's
at? Twitch, your
one of my
login verification.
characters. It's been a
I was definitely
thousand
I think I was quoting, what was it, Titanic? It's
years.
been 84 years. Okay, let me get this in here.
All right, let's
Ready?
see if I could get this thing to.
All right, there we go. I think. Is it restart? Just get me in there. Get me in there. Get me in there. If you see Kakashi B, that's me.
Don't break
Hold
the
on.
stream.
Come on. There we go. All right, I
Okay,
am
I won't break
back.
the stream.
And then I hit enter, and then verify. Oh, come on.
Come
I'm
on.
verified. Oh my God, I gotta do account verification.
That's okay. We'll wait. We're gonna wait for this one. We need Batsu's. We need the link. We need everything. Let's
Oh my
go.
God! Now I gotta get my phone. They're gonna take this 2-step verification. Was it 875-885? Okay.
No, Sam does not have a booth redeem, but Sam has a booth plant sitting over there drying. So hush.
Who's out here boofing?
So Book, if you ever come on Twitch, he streams during the week, Sunday, well his Sunday. Thank you for the follow.
That is me.
That is you. Yay. He streams I think 4 or 5 days a week. And he has a booth redeem for 10K. And they're wondering why
There's the
I don't have a booth redeem. Yay!
There's the link, guys. Oh my God.
Yes. So, but I do not have a booth redeem, but I have a booth plant sitting over there drying. So hush, because New York made it legal. So, but anyone has any questions for this gentleman here? If not, we're gonna raid out. And I want to say,
yeah, you guys got questions? Make me feel at least slightly special, please. No, you're not. You don't have any questions.
Any questions?
For me? I thought you guys liked the interview.
Please, any questions?
You're not that cool.
I am a huge fan. I don't ever want you to stop this storyline.
I'm not.
I am always
actually look forward to
welcome.
I'm
Russell.
going to be rewriting the original episodes because now that this show is taking as it got into the level it has, the earlier episodes were done, like I said, for fun. So what I'm going to do is go back, and when the show comes back as Tales of Guardim, it will be starting at quote unquote episode 1. But all the content you will have seen before, but it'll be more fleshed out. The script will be broader. There'll be more characters. It'll be way better filmed. Russell, is that Russell? Is that the homie Russell? Hey, Russell. See what I mean? Look, they say, "May the night bless you and keep you safe." That's the phrase. But yeah, so the show will be coming back, and I don't know when it's going to be coming back because I said it was going to be October 1st, but then Tavern Tales kind of took a life of its own, and I'm actually really enjoying doing Tavern Tales.
Is my favorite. So we didn't get to mention Tavern Tales, but that is my other favorite thing to watch. It's
highly enjoyable to do.
Highly enjoyable to watch. Guys, definitely check out Batsu's
Thank you.
TikTok
Thank
channel.
you, Perfect Brett.
Tales of Guardim is exactly how it's spelled out, all one word on TikTok. Give him a follow. Be part of the live. It's amazing. Apparently, I need to make a freaking character sheet so I can be part of this war that I missed about, because not fair. Thank you, Book, for that. I appreciate it. I know this is one of your favorite streams. I appreciate that. I hope to continue to do that. We're gonna get some more people on here, but I hope to have you back sometime in the future so we can
Absolutely. Just
discuss
let me
what's
know and
going
I'll be
on.
here. Yeah,
This
absolutely.
was a great talk, and I enjoyed it
I
immensely.
enjoyed you. I enjoyed your chat. I think everybody here's spiffy.
So I usually give my guests the option, since now you're in Twitch for real. Make you a PC. I will make you a. Okay, so next stream, guys, I'm gonna make a player character for John. That will be the next stream because he just did a redeem for 1,000. Um,
Nice.
so um, so I usually let my guests decide who we're gonna raid out to. Since you've just rejoined Twitch, who would you like to raid out to?
What do you mean? Like,
So we
what do
could
what do
take
you mean
this
by
whole
raid out?
chat over
Oh, to
to
somebody else.
someone else. Let's see.
Who is on
Let's
that
see.
would
We have one of my favorites, New Zealand channels, Dice Legends. They're doing Dungeons and Dragons, a Halloween special. We
Okay.
have Data Dave, a great content creator who I'm trying to get as my next guest on here. He does a lot of chatting. He does a lot of charities. He's a college
Mm-hmm.
professor. Amazing,
Oh,
amazing. Um, uh, do we have Epic Realms? They're doing D&D. I have a lot of D&D stuff on here. We have Legends of Atlantis doing D&D.
see, I'm so out of touch with Twitch. I'm just like, I don't know where we should go. We can go wherever you want to go. That's okay.
All right. So then what let's do Data Dave because I enjoy his content. He's super upbeat, super hype. Um, it is a theme here. I realize that. Thank you for joining us. Thank you, Russ. I appreciate that. This was amazing. Hopefully, the next one will be in the next few weeks. For those of you who don't know me, who have just followed me, thank you for the follow. I appreciate every one of my followers. My moderators are great. You guys are amazing. You're my best friends.
Just better
And
stick with her, or I'll find you.
yeah,
Okay,
exactly.
you understand me? I will find you, and I will make
um,
things slightly uncomfortable for you.
Please check out Batsu out on Tales of Guardim on TikTok and hopefully on YouTube and to see some back episodes. That'd be great. For those of you who don't know me, I am Classic Sam, the New York GM. I do professional Dungeons and Dragons as well as other TTRPG games for a fee. You can check out my website at www.thenewyorkgm.com. I appreciate you all. Let's raid out to Data Dave. I think he just started, so we're gonna do raid Data Dave. Thank you guys all. Stick around for the raid. It did not like that. Let's try that again. Invalid name. Raid. That is a lie. He's there. I see him.
The cake is a lie.
There it is. So check him out. Stick around for the raid. It helps you guys. You get channel points. It helps out the creators. And I will see you guys next time. Thanks for coming along. Bye. All right. And we are out. 1, 2, 3, and did it go?
Yep.
There it went.